Hey guys, Mike Lawson here. So, did you know that in order to boost morale on your team, the best way to do it is for you to model behavior? And let me explain. See, we're doing a Did You Know challenge, and this is something that, I love leadership, by the way, and this is from a daily devotional of leadership promises, Daily Leadership Promises by John Maxwell. Highly recommend him for leadership. And people ask me all the time, well, how do I get my team to do more? My team isn't doing anything. They started off great, but they fell off. They're not getting on calls. They're not getting on webinars. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? How do I get them to do more? Well, we used to have a saying, and I think it still holds true today, that it's better to give birth than to revive the dead. Okay, let me repeat that. It's better to give birth than to revive the dead. Here's what I mean by that. It's easier to go out there and find somebody new than try to revive somebody that's dead. Now, I'm not saying that you should give up on people, because there's people that have a lot of potential that go through rough patches in their life, right? We've all been there. So I'm not saying give up on people. But listen, if somebody just constantly has excuses after excuse after excuse, well, listen, I give them I use a 3-strike rule, by the way. Okay, can't make it this week. That's fine. You can't get on this call. Okay, I get it. All right, I understand. Next week, same excuse. Okay, yeah, no problem. I understand. Do what you got to do. I'll see you next week. Okay. And if they're giving you their word, they're giving you their commitment, and then the third time they break it, and whatever it is, listen, excuses are excuses, right? That's one of my biggest pet peeves. So if they give you excuses, okay, the third time now you have to have a difficult conversation with them. But I want to talk about how to boost morale, because when morale is low, listen, it affects you. Now, this is for the leader. This is for you to be the leader. Okay? You need to be doing productive things. You need to stay busy. See, listen, in the beginning, when you have maybe a little team and you have some people following you, whatever, like a little bit of activity, that's good, right? That's good enough. But listen, this is normal. Okay, that you have a big month, or you go through a lot of, I know we're coming off of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, right? So some people are in some serious momentum right now. Well, listen, it's not going to last forever. That's why it's so important to stay consistent, because consistency wins every time. But you'll see a lot of people, maybe they just got started, they see all this volume, they're like, oh, this is great. Well, wait 60 days. Now the morale is low because they're not doing that kind of production, right? So, now, again, this is all leadership. Now, you need to, I'm going to get into that in a second. But you, as a leader, need to create positive morale. Well, how do you do that? You need to model it for them. Here's what you need to do. You want people to do more? You want them to get customers? You want them to recruit people? You want them to make more phone calls? You want them to do the things that they should be doing to produce more income, to be more productive in whatever it is and whatever business you're in? If you want them to do more, you need to model that behavior. See, if you want them to get more customers, you need to be getting more customers. You want them to recruit more, you need to be recruiting more. You want them to go to every convention, you need to be at every convention. You need to buy the ticket first, right? You want them to watch videos like this, you need to be watching it. You need to be telling them about it. So, here's why that's so important. Because after all, you can't steer a parked car. I love that, right? You can't. So, you need to model that behavior, okay? See, people do what people see. You can't, a good leader leads by example. You can't ask people to do what you haven't done or what you're not willing to do. So instead of trying to call them every day and call them every week, hey, are you doing this? Are you doing? No. Here's what you do. You do it. And then you, text message them, group message them. Hey, just got another customer. Hey, just got another rep. Here's what my upline leader did. And this was it was so good. Because there were times that our business would dip, and then we would start complaining. And we would start complaining to him. And you know what he would do? He'd go recruit a whole new team. We'd come to the Tuesday night meeting, he'd have a whole new team there. And then you know what he would do, which would literally make us so mad? And I'm saying us, a couple leaders, we used to get so peed off. Not peed off. I was going to say pissed off, but maybe I should just say that. Because peed off, I think, is a little more weird. Anyway, we would just get pissed. Because he would make such a big deal about this new team. And then they would get a bonus. And then that's all he talked about for the next 60 days. How good Angela is, how good her mom is, how good her family is, how good, right? And it was we were forgotten about. And we were leaders. We got to a certain level, right? Because he he modeled good behavior, right? He walked the walk. So you need to model it yourself. Number 2 is you need to develop relationships with potential leaders. Now, you might see something. Now, not everybody's a potential leader. And there's going to be some people that come in there, I call them firecrackers. They get all excited and they fizzle out. Those are not the ones you want. The ones you want are the people that you see that have potential. Maybe they're not having the kind of success that they hope for or that you hope for, but they're trying. You need to cultivate relationships with them. Here's a question for you. What are you doing around the holiday season for you and your team? Here's what we used to do, and I'm telling you this work, and I'm telling you, I still have friendships and relationships that I consider best friends from what we used to do, okay, when I was in the field. We used to have holiday parties. No business. I mean, again, people will talk about business, but it's a holiday party. It's just to get together and get to know each other. Because usually when, during the week, every week, everyone's talking business. Maybe get together, you get on a Zoom call, it's all business. Have a holiday party and get people together and don't even talk business. Just get to know each other, right? Build friendships. And don't ask too much of them too soon. So you see somebody that has potential, you build that relationship. Don't ask too much of them too soon, but let them know that you're going to be working with them closely and you're going to do it together. You're there with them every step of the way. And the third one is have small victories on your team. This is huge. Whether it's their first rank advancement, their first little bonus, celebrate it, help them get a victory. Now, it could be maybe they just made 10 phone calls or 5 phone calls, and that was difficult for them. Right? We all know what it was like to be uncomfortable, right? So don't forget that. Or maybe it was, they got their first customer. Make a big deal about it. Celebrate those small victories. Here's another thing that you need to do. Have weekly accountability calls or bi-weekly if your team's not big enough. You need to be having weekly or bi-weekly accountability calls with your team. You want people to do more? You want to boost morale? Have weekly accountability calls. Here's why. Every time that I were to get on an accountability call and I know I didn't do anything, I was embarrassed. So it would force me to go out there and do things so I didn't get on the next call and say, she beat me or he beat me, because I'm super competitive, by the way. And that only happened a few times. But you need to be, again, and as a leader, you step it up and you need to be reporting your numbers as well. Weekly accountability calls, I'm telling you guys, huge. And the last one is communicating vision. Does your team know what your vision is? Have you communicated it clearly to your team, what the vision is? See, it says in the Bible, and you guys know I'm an amateur when it comes to the Bible, but it's biblical, that without a vision, the people will perish. It's so true. If your team doesn't know where they're going, that could be one of the reasons why the morale's so low. They have nothing to shoot for, nothing to look forward to. The first company I was with, and I'm going to leave you with this because I think this is important. We had a mission. Okay, there was when I was early in the business, we were like in the top 5 as a team in production. There was this team that was just rocking. They were called the Empire. They were just rocking, crushing every production report. We go to a convention, they're walking the stage. That's all it was. Top 10 Empire. We were just sitting there like, this is so boring, right? Because one day is usually like all recognition. Oh, it was great for them. It was boring for everybody else. So we said, you know what? We need a mission. And we started a team and we started a mission. And I remember and it was in Atlanta, Georgia. There was about 30 of us. I'll never forget it. And, the upline leader stood up and he said, this is what we're going to do. We named the team the Rebellion. We were rebellion against 9 to 5, corporate America. We were rebellion against, not having enough money in our bank account. We're rebellion against like the system and helping people become entrepreneurs, right? So that was the mission. That was the vision. I'm telling you, within 12 months, not even 12 months, I'm willing to bet, you would look at the back of the convention center. There were thousands of us, and we used to wear these obnoxious, fluorescent green. I don't know why I still have paper that's fluorescent green. But it was obnoxious. You could see us, right? And we would have these annoying horns. But anyway, there was a vision. And literally, we went number 1. And still today, that team that I was a part of has still been number 1. And it's probably been well over 10, 15 years that team is still number 1. And it's because, there's some great leaders, but also the vision. So, without a vision, people will perish. So you want to boost morale? You need to go out there, lead by example. And guys, if there's anything else that you guys don't know about me, you want to know, let me know. ask that. I'm gonna cover something really cool tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna talk about, because a lot of you guys don't know how I was recruited into network marketing, how I got into being an entrepreneur. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you hit the notification button for when I go live, because tomorrow's going to be good. It's going to be it's a funny story. It's an interesting story. I think you guys are going to be inspired by it. Have a great day, everybody.